These elections are the largest test of public opinion since the general election, and there's an awful lot at stake. Firstly, local elections, council elections in England, Scotland and Wales. All seats in all local authorities in Wales and Scotland will be contested. If you watch with us on the night, these will gradually get coloured in as the results come in. England will remain a little patchier, though. Only 146 councils in England are holding elections, and within those, only half or a third of some seats in some places are being fought. A lot of the things will be clustered around urban areas, particularly watch London. All 32 London boroughs are holding elections for all the councillors there. Now, you might ask why these local elections matter, what bearing they have on national politics, and hopefully this will help explain. This is the number of councillors held by the different parties over time. And just have a look at what happens ahead of changes in government. Look, a big tick up in Conservative councillors just before Margaret Thatcher was elected. A big tick up in Labour ones before Blair was elected. Just before Cameron was elected there as well. And look, the Conservatives have really dominated local politics since then. This line is a lot lower than Labour would want it to be if they want to have success at the next general election. Their task to try and tick that line further up. Now, what does a good and bad night look like for the parties? It's really important to remember the baseline. The last time these seats was fought was in the 2018 local elections. And you might remember Labour did very well there, the Conservatives not so much. So against that low baseline, losses of 350 or so would be pretty catastrophic, put Boris Johnson under huge amounts of pressure. Losses of 100 or so seats, that could be brushed off perhaps as midterm blues, but still not great. Standing still for the Conservatives, that would be sort of OK for them. Numerically not great, but in the current context, perhaps not so bad. Gains for Boris Johnson, well, that would be a real vindication for him. Labour, on the other hand, they're coming from a much higher baseline. So gains for Keir Starmer of 200 or so seats, that would be an exceptional result. It would put them potentially on track to win the next general election. Gains of 50 or so, 100 seats would also go down pretty well. Now, no change for Labour. Worth saying that might feel disappointing given the current Conservative woes, but actually it would represent potentially winning back some of that support that Labour went on to lose in the 2019 general election, so not too bad. Losses for Labour, that would be big question marks for Keir Starmer. Now, some of the most important and consequential elections this time are actually happening in Northern Ireland. Voters there choosing the 90 members of the Northern Irish Assembly. Each constituency, all 18 of them, electing 5 MLAs each. Now, the voting system is designed to very closely reflect the vote share to the number of seats, so very unlikely that any of these constituencies would elect 5 MLAs from the same party. And the stakes are very, very high indeed. This is what happened last time these elections were run in 2017. Look, the DUP, the largest number of seats, 28, but just one more than Sinn Féin. And at the moment, Sinn Féin is polling better. It's polling to be the largest party. Actually, the DUP, neck and neck in the polls at the moment with the non-aligned Alliance Party. If those polls bear out, and if indeed Sinn Féin is the largest party, that will mean they will have the First Minister's position, and it will be the first time a nationalist party has been the largest party in Stormont. It would be a hugely significant moment in history and potentially have big ramifications for the union.